In my morning act of imagination, each morning I take a period of time where I relate to aspects of myself as if they were outside of me. And I allow this inner dialogue to transpire. It's very much like waking dreaming or lucid dreaming. The term comes from a psychologist who employed this technique, Carl Jung. And I didn't realize I was doing it. I didn't understand how he was describing it until I picked up this book by, I think the lady's name is Hannah. Her last name is Hannah. And she wrote a book on active imagination. I realized, oh, that's what I've been doing my whole life. I do that on certain levels, and it's like daydreaming. But this morning's was about my pain, and in the inner dialogue, I was relating to this authority, this general authority. And this general authority can be thought of as expectations society places upon us as individuals. It's just a very general authority. And it takes multiple and various forms, or multifarious forms, Could be a cop, could be a judge, could be a parent, could be a teacher, could be a boss, could be anything outside of us that causes us to say, hey, wait a second, what's my position here in relationship to you? And that's what I mean is, what's my position? What's my posture and stance that I'm supposed to take with this form outside of me? A lot of times we just go bebopping along through life and we never really come into that depth realization that, oh, I'm self-aware of my own being here with you. It's a state of tension, and, a lot of people would much rather just have a good time and play and dance and, which is fun, which is really fun. However, for me, there's these continual challenges to reaffirm or disguise or get rid of postures that I take in relationship to other things. But this morning, what came up in me as a natural posture and stance in relationship to this authority, this general authority figure in my lucid dreaming, was that I informed that authority figure that they are secondary to my relationship with my pain, and that they need to understand that I have had a depth relationship with my physical pain that has been so consistent and persistent that it is secondary to their orders, commands, demands, and requirements of me. And that as the authority, they need to take that into account. And I understand this because growing up, my father was the authority. He was one of those authoritative fathers. My sister used to term him the tyrant, but I'm not sure she really took into account the kind of pain he was having. I could see it. She was blind, and so she had her own kind of difficulties and challenges, and I can see how a disabled person challenges another person and says, wait a second here, you think you got it hard? And I can respect that. So I can respect my sister giving my father a hard time. However, I could see his pain, and in my experience, I made allowances for his tyrannies. And I didn't see them as tyranny or tyrannical. I saw them as a person experiencing anguish and still having to contend with all of the demands of life. Great deal of respect there. However, I'm also mixed in. I have a bit of my sister in me as well. It says, well, wait a second here. Wait a second. Why don't you spread out the power, a little more equally so that not everything is on your shoulders? And my parents have been married my whole life. They're still married. God bless them. God bless it. And I really do see that saying of Campbell's, marriage is not a love nest, it's an ordeal in their relationship. However, my mom made tremendous allowances. It's just allowances. A lot of give credit where credit is due. A lot of compassion, a lot of humanity. But if my father didn't, it's hard to say. If he didn't carry all the weight on his shoulders, maybe he wouldn't be the man he is. If he had allowed some of the responsibilities to be placed upon my mother, which my mother offered, maybe his pain wouldn't have influenced his supposed tyrannical behavior. However, they are as they are. Things happened as they did.